In March 2025, President Donald Trump shocked the world by imposing a sweeping 25% tariff on all goods from Canada and Mexico, plus a 10% tariff on Canadian energy. This marked the highest U.S. tariff since World War II, sending markets and diplomats into turmoil. Trump claimed the move was about national security and stopping fentanyl, but data showed less than 1% of seized fentanyl came from Canada, and Mexican seizures had dropped by half. Critics saw the tariffs as a broad attack on free trade, not a targeted response. China was also hit with a 10% tariff hike, signaling a global shift in U.S. trade policy. The administration declared the end of the free trade era, insisting tariffs would protect American interests. Economists and business leaders warned of severe consequences for both sides of the border. By summer, Trump doubled down, slapping a 50% tariff on steel imports, devastating for Canada's economy. The U.S. Canada relationship, once a model of cooperation, was now in crisis. The tariffs ignited a full-blown economic conflict, threatening to unravel decades of partnership. The world watched as North America's most integrated trading system teetered on the edge. The stage was set for a historic showdown. Canada wasted no time responding to Trump's tariffs. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called the U.S. measures dumb and unjustified, dismissing the drug argument as a pretext. Ottawa announced a $155 billion CAD in retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods, dollar for dollar, and designed to hit politically sensitive American industries. The first wave, a 25% tariff on $30 billion CAD of U.S. products, launched the same day as the U.S. tariffs. Iconic American goods, bourbon, orange juice, appliances, were targeted to maximize impact. A second, larger wave of tariffs loomed, keeping pressure on Washington. Trudeau urged Canadians to boycott U.S. products and vacation at home, warning of auto plant shutdowns and higher prices for Americans. The message: Canada would not back down, and the pain would be mutual. The retaliation was the largest in Canadian history, signaling a new era of economic confrontation. The trade war was no longer theoretical, it was personal, and every household would feel it. Canada was ready for a long fight. The U.S.-Canada border is more than a line, it's a $2.5 billion a day economic lifeline. In 2023, over 75% of Canada's exports went to the U.S., supporting 2.4 million Canadian jobs. The new tariffs threaten to upend this deeply integrated relationship, putting entire industries and communities at risk. Just-in-time supply chains in autos, steel, and agriculture faced chaos as costs soared and uncertainty spread. The tariffs weren't just numbers, they threatened the livelihoods of millions. From Ontario auto workers to Alberta energy producers, the disruption rippled through every sector, with cascading effects on both sides of the border. The world's most successful trading partnership was suddenly in jeopardy. The stakes had never been higher. Markets plunged as news of the tariffs broke. Retailers like Target and Best Buy saw stocks tumble, and automakers faced soaring costs. Ford and GM shares dropped sharply as the auto industry's cross-border supply chains became a liability overnight. The United Auto Workers Union supported the tariffs, hoping to protect U.S. jobs, but business leaders warned of lost competitiveness and higher prices. The steel industry was hit next. Trump's 50% tariff on steel imports forced Canada to impose its own defensive tariffs to block a flood of redirected global steel. Prime Minister Mark Carney, Trudeau's successor, moved quickly to shield Canadian industries from collateral damage. For consumers, the impact was immediate. Canadian tariffs made U.S. goods like orange juice and appliances pricier, while Americans braced for higher food and energy costs. The trade war was no longer abstract, it was hitting wallets and grocery carts. Everyday life became more expensive, and uncertainty grew. The tit-for-tat escalation showed how quickly protectionism could spiral. What began as a policy dispute was now a daily reality for millions. The economic pain was spreading with no end in sight. Both governments scrambled to contain the fallout. The trade war was now everyone's problem. The trade crisis erupted as Canada faced political upheaval. Prime Minister Trudeau, under pressure and with plummeting approval, announced his resignation just as the tariffs hit. His final act was a fierce defense of Canadian sovereignty, rallying the nation against U.S. pressure. Mark Carney, a respected economist and former central banker, took over as Prime Minister in June 2025. Carney's approach was strategic. He focused on damage control and protecting Canadian markets from global shocks. He quickly imposed new tariffs to block diverted steel, warning that U.S. actions were reshaping global trade. The leadership change brought a new style, but the resolve remained. Canada was united in its response, determined to weather the storm. The crisis had forged a rare sense of national purpose. Canada wasn't alone. Mexico, also hit with 25% tariffs, condemned the U.S. move and threatened its own retaliation. President Claudia Sheinbaum warned of countermeasures if talks failed, echoing Canada's hard line. China, facing a 10% tariff hike, responded with new tariffs on key U.S. exports, like soybeans and wheat. The global response was swift. Allies in Europe and Asia voiced alarm, fearing a breakdown of the post-war trading system. The U.S. was seen as abandoning its free trade leadership, risking a domino effect of protectionism worldwide. The trade war's shockwaves threatened to trigger a global recession. America's trading partners refused to back down, absorbing short-term pain to resist U.S. pressure. The Trump administration found itself isolated, fighting on multiple economic fronts. The world's economic order was suddenly in flux. The stakes had become global. The U.S. Canada trade war marked the lowest point in their relationship in generations. The conflict weaponized supply chains, turning economic integration into a source of mutual pain. A quick resolution seemed unlikely. Both sides braced for a drawn-out standoff. The risk permanent damage to industries, jobs, and trust built over a century. Canadian businesses looked to Europe and Asia, while U.S. firms faced lost competitiveness and higher costs. The dispute threatened cooperation on everything from security to climate change. The future of North America and the global economy hung in the balance. For millions, jobs and prosperity were at stake. The world watched, hoping for peace but preparing for a new era of economic conflict. The final chapter of this trade war was still unwritten,